Yeah, what's up? I want to make a YouTube video. Go, go, go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Not London Narrative. I have had a fair bit of a tough time in my life, but I think I finally realized that I have to do what I enjoy doing instead of push, putting everything on the side just because life isn't really going how I want it to go. So, yeah, I'm really struggling with my cap. It looks weird. I don't know. Maybe it's the way I'm sitting. That's my cat. Yeah, I think it's weird. But anyways, so let's talk about Rodrigo, guys. And concerning Rodrigo, this is incredibly interesting because I I shared you this live video earlier today, like 4 or 5 p.m. And then I saw the news that Rodrigo is not in a haste to leave Madrid. But this scenario has been playing in my head, and I just thought to share it. So what's the scenario? Arsenal were being linked to Rodrigo, but Arsenal signed Madueke, so they don't need a left winger anymore. And if they do sign one, it looks like it's going to be Eberechi, so he can also compete with Odegaard in the number 10 position, which I think is very interesting. But then, if Arsenal is off the table for Rodrigo, and hello to the one person that was here, or the person that's gone. Oh, but anyways, if Arsenal is off the table for Rodrigo, is incredibly interesting because then he leaves Newcastle already have a left winger. I don't think Rodrigo wants to go to Newcastle. Liverpool have already made a record signing in Verts. I doubt if they would make a record signing in Verts, Isak, and then go for Rodrigo as well. So they're going to sign Isak for over 120 mil, it seems. And it seems that, may so rest in peace, Jota is going to be replaced by Isak, and then Luis Diaz is going to be replaced by either Ben Doak or one of their wingers, or that something guy, this youngster that has been playing in preseason. He has been playing very well on the left. So I think Diaz is going to be replaced by him. So I don't think they're going to sign Rodrigo. Chelsea are not signing Rodrigo. They've already signed Gittins. Which are the top side? Chelsea, Manchester United are going to sign, what's his name? Sheshko. They need a 9. They don't need a winger. Which other side? City is off the books. So yeah, those are the sides. Now, hear me out. If all these things have fallen into place, which is exactly what I wanted, everything. Hello to whoever that is. The person has gone again. Amazing. But anyways, if all these things are falling into place, which is exactly what I would have loved to happen, I genuinely see a world where Rodrigo comes to Tottenham. And what do I mean by that? It's a World Cup year. It's a World Cup year, and Rodrigo needs to play. He needs game time. Now, if it turns out that he's not going to be playing at Madrid, it's a World Cup year. For you to play for Brazil, you need to be playing for Madrid. So he wants to play. If players like Adagule, Master Tuano, and players like that are going to be ahead of him in this new manager's plans, and he doesn't like playing off the right, Stone has left, Kane has left, Hugo has left. A lot of the huge wages in Tottenham have gone. And right now, I think everybody would agree that Tottenham don't exactly have a star name. Like, we don't have a star player that everybody looks at and, oh, like, this is our star man. We've had Harry Kane, we've had Son. But right now, we don't necessarily have anyone. And I genuinely see Rodrigo being that. I genuinely see Rodrigo being the star man for us. So, yes, that is it. And Tottenham Hotspur don't even have a left winger right now. Like, I don't count Matistella and Otebe as our left wingers. I don't think either of them are good enough. I'm sorry. I understand people say, oh, if you're a Tottenham fan, you need to support your players no matter what and this and that. But I'll call it spade a spade. If you're not good enough, you're not good enough. And I'm not going to say you are good enough just because you play for Tottenham Hotspur. You're not. And I want better for my club. So yes. So yeah, that is the scenario that played out in my head. And it makes sense. It's possible. And I don't think it's unrealistic. I genuinely think it is possible. I know that we might be a last resort and he might only want to come on loan, but I genuinely think it is possible for us to get Rodrygo. I genuinely think so. So yes, that is the scenario I played out in my head, and I am praying to God that it turns out exactly how I see it in my head. Because when it comes down to it, we might genuinely be Rodrygo's last option. And I don't see why not. When the Champions League, we have a new manager, we're trying to build ourselves back up. It's a World Cup year. Come here on loan. If you like it, come on a permanent. You're playing on the wing. You're playing in your favorite position. You're playing as a star man in the team. The team revolves around you. You're the main man. You're the main player. We have players like Kudus and what's his name? Rodrygo on the wings. That's a deadly wing duo. And our attacks won't be lopsided anymore. If you're marking out Rodrygo, you go with Kudus. If you're marking out Kudus, you go with Rodrygo. If you're marking them out, you go with our number 10, you go with our number 8. Direct. Like how Thomas wants to play. And I think it's going to be incredibly interesting. And I'm really excited. I understand that there are lots of rumors coming out saying, oh, Rodrygo is not ready for a move yet. He's not that pressed on leaving Madrid. And whatever anybody wants to say, they will say. But I genuinely think that considering, like, if this wasn't a World Cup year, I would say, okay, Rodrygo might not come to Tottenham. But this being a World Cup year, I genuinely think that there is a possibility that Rodrygo comes to Spurs. I genuinely think so. And I just hope it pans out exactly how I see it in my head. I would just hope that Xabi makes it clear to this brother that, bro, you're not in my plans. And you're not going to play much. And once he realizes that there's no other option, then he comes to Spurs. And he will hopefully, fingers crossed, smash it out at Spurs. But yeah, aside from that, the other thing that everybody has been watching, funny enough, when I saw that video, this is the overlap interview with Levy. When I saw it with Levy and Gary Neville, it was like 9.5k views. And by the time I had time to watch it because of work and everything, it was over 200,000 views. Now it's like over 400, probably even 500 by now. I think when I saw it last, it was 450 something K views. Crazy stuff. But anyways, I saw a lot of comments under that interview saying, oh, what a great interview. Tottenham fans don't know what they have and this and that. And I'm of a very different opinion. Watching that interview and having a background in mass communication, that's what I studied in uni. Watching that interview was an absolute joke. That is genuinely one of the worst interviews I've ever watched in my life. And I say this because as a media person, your job as a media person is to hold people accountable. Your job as a media person is to what they call it, serve as a sort of check and balance for people in powerful position and to call them out. And I didn't feel like that interview did that. They were talking about PSR, talking about the Premier League, and like 10, 15, maybe even, I remember specifically 10 minutes in, and we haven't started talking about Tottenham Hotspur. But you're talking about Hurricanes, I don't even know what they call that thing, and whatever. We're talking about PSR, we're talking about this. And then there are conversations like how, oh, Newcastle this, Newcastle that. Oh, that should give even more credit to Tottenham being able to be so self-sustainable and this and that. Brother, You've been here for over 20 years. You should be in such a position. You should be winning. You should have won at least one Premier League by now. You should have. You should have won at least the Premier League. You should have won more than two trophies in 25 years. 24. This season hasn't started. I will give you that. In 24 years, Daniel Levy should have won more than two trophies in 24 years. So don't come here and tell me that you will be more appreciated when you leave. You will be more what do they call it? You'll be more appreciated when you leave. You'll be more what you've done for the club will be more acceptable and respected when you leave. No, no, it will not. And you can come here and say, "Oh, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. It's about wanting to win." You come here telling us you wanted to win. You wanted to win. You sacked Jose before a final. You wanted to win. We went, hello, I can't pronounce your name. Hi, nice to meet you. Bash. Ha. I will just call you Shanta. Nice to meet you, man. What's up? It's nice to have you here. Thank you. So yeah, do you have anything? If you want to ask me anything, you can leave it in the comments. It's nice to meet you, bro. I'm good. How are you doing? But yeah, so you can't come here and tell me that you want to win when you're sacking the manager a week before a final and things like that. You want to win, but you keep on signing the likes of Archie Gray, the likes of what's his name? Sholanke. Last year under Ange, and this is why same old sports, same old problems. Bro, I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. Honestly, because I think I'm at the point where, and I'm talking to you, Shanta. I'm talking to you. I'm at the point where I hope you don't mind me calling you Shanta, by the way, because I can't pronounce your name. Sorry, but I'm at the point where I decided that if if the signings to me don't make sense, I'm not going to watch. Okay, okay, all right. Thank God, that is okay. Thank God that is okay. But I'm at the point where I decided that if the signings don't make sense to me, I'm not going to watch the season because I know what I went through mentally last season. And genuinely speaking, I can't put myself through that anymore. Like I had to stop posting on YouTube. I had to stop like watching the sport because normally when life is tough, we come to football. But last season was hell. And as much as we want to blame Ange, as much as we want to blame Ange, we signed Brendan Johnson to replace Harry Kane. We signed Archie Gray. We signed Matisse Tell. We signed Bergval. We signed Yang Min Hyuk. Only one first team addition last season, as much as we want to blame Ange. So, regardless of what anybody says, I don't know, man. Shanta, let me know if you'd like to come on. I could send you a link. If you'd like to come on, I could send you a link so we can actually have a chat, like in real time. That would be nice. But anyways, so yeah, that's another thing about that. Now, about Thomas Frank. I have found this very interesting. I think I have an idea of what Frank is trying to do. And I'm very curious about how or curious to see if we sign a number 8. Because from what I saw or what I've seen in the last few games, what we're going to play direct football, but it's going to be direct football with better players. And from what I've seen, it is the kind of football where you play long balls to the attackers, like at any given opportunity. So if you play direct football, like you win possession and you whip the ball in, naturally, attacking players running back are running backwards towards their goal, and it's harder to defend when you're running towards your goal than when you're waiting for the like the attacker, and like you're here and like, okay, come, do what you want to do, and I'm here. So that is the kind of football we're playing, and having players like Kudus and potentially, in my head, Rodrygo is really going to take us to a whole new level. Generally speaking, I think that's going to take us to a whole new level because it's going to be direct football. These are players that you know can cause you damage. And it's not like if it's Kudus now and Brennan Johnson on the other wing, they can just double mark Kudus and Brennan Johnson can't beat a man one-on-one. So it's a very tricky situation. We could play direct football when it finishes to make that make sense. So, brother, honestly, I've said it. If we don't make good signings, I don't think I'm going to watch this next season. Because I couldn't even agree more. Even Kudus, as much as I like him, yeah, as much as I like him, I don't know if he's even the most clinical. And that's like why I look at this team and I'm like, where do I even go from here? Because in my opinion, we can do with Vicario for one more season. It's understandable. We could do with Vicario for one more season. But in my opinion, we need a left back. We need a left winger. We need a number 8. We need a 10 because Madison is always injured. We need a 9. Yeah, we need all that. And it's incredibly interesting to see like what Frank does because we've seen in like style of play that we've been solid defensively. Like we've been solid defensively. Hello, everyone. You could leave comments and let me know if you want to come on. I'll send the link. But anyways, we've been solid defensively, but attacking has been a real problem for us. And that's understandable because we've always been complaining about that attack. Like, and losing Son now is even a bigger miss because I don't even know where we go from here. I genuinely don't know where we go from here. And looking at other teams that we're going to be facing, if you look at United now, I'm genuinely worried about United because if you think back to some of the games that we played last season against United, United had a lot of chances, but they couldn't take them. Now they've been able to bring in Mbuemo and Cunha into the attack. They're potentially going to get Sheshko as well. And that front three is scary. So now they have goals in them. Chelsea, we know what Chelsea are capable of. Arsenal, we know what they're capable of. City, we know what they're capable of. Liverpool, we know what they're capable of. Villa are going to be in the Europa League. They're no longer in the Champions League. I know everybody's saying, oh, they're going to drop off, but Villa still have quality players. Villa still have quality players. Everybody's saying, oh, Newcastle. Newcastle still have quality players. They still have Gordon. They still have Elanga. And for what they're trying to do at Newcastle, Elanga fits perfectly. So I'm genuinely looking at our front line, looking at Solanke, looking at Tel. Matisse, the one-on-one Matisse had. I don't know what he did there. Odebe, all foreplay, no end product. Yeah, you can do all the skills. And I feel like another problem I have with Odebe is too lax on the ball. Like there are times when Odebe gets the ball, and I think he feels like he has all the time in the world. Odebe is just so lax when he's on the ball. And like you give him the ball, he controls it, and he's like, oh, I have all the time in the world, and then they dispossess him. And this happens a lot of times. It happens a lot of times. Sholanke, now, my Nigerian brother, all love. I love you for that. But when he came to Tottenham, he was very strong. He was physical. It was hard to get off the ball. And all of a sudden, a few months with Madison, and any small thing is falling on the floor. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't even know where we go from here. Because this is genuinely going to be a problem. Except if we're going to be getting goals from set pieces. Like Chelsea under Tuchel. There was this point in time with Chelsea under Tuchel where Chelsea couldn't score goals. Like they had Reece James scoring goals. They had I think was it Zuma at that period. Was it Zuma? I think it was Zuma. But their centre backs, Rudiger. I remember Rudiger every time. It was their defenders that were getting the goals. Chelsea attackers weren't getting the goals because they had the likes of Havertz and Werner in front. And I'm genuinely convinced at this point that that is where we're going to be getting our goals from. Because the way he's looking, bro, this front line, the only thing that I can say is that due to how we're going to play under Frank, we're going to play direct football. So it's going to be, sorry, yes, who is that? I'm doing a live. Please, can you come up here? Thank you. But anyways, we're going to play direct football. And if we're going to play direct football, that is the only thing that can help us, because if you're able to catch teams on the break, and like, I don't know if you guys remember Chelsea under Maresca early last season, where Chelsea didn't necessarily play possession football. They played more like a transitional football, where it was sort of creating conditions, like you are creating conditions for your opponents, and they could, for yourself rather, against your opponents, and they could do that because they had the likes of Caicedo to win the ball back. So they lose the ball and then they win the ball back, and then they catch you on the break because they had very fast wingers. And they were able to do this because, like I said, they had people that could win the ball back. And that period, they were scoring a lot of goals. And I think teams found them out and started sitting back against them. And that's when they struggled to break low blocks. And that's when they went through that whole period where they were losing games, they were drawing games, they were dropping points insanely every week. And I think that that's the only thing that Tottenham Hotspur can do with this attack, where we don't play possession football, we play sort of transitional football, where you create conditions where, like what Bournemouth do. Yeah, Bournemouth is the best example for this, where like Bournemouth play this sort of football where, and I researched this when I was doing my research for our managers. So, or what I wanted to be our manager. So they do this thing where they give you the ball, and then when you come into their midfield, is when they press you. Their press isn't triggered until you come into the midfield. And then when you come into the midfield, it means you're high. So when they get the ball, their attackers are running and they're playing very fast transitional football. It's not necessarily um possession football. And that's why a lot of people had concerns about Iraola, because Iraola's football sort of fits when you're a mid-table side. But when you're a top team, people sit in a low block against you, and now you have to play against a low block. And Bournemouth sort of struggled against low blocks. So I think that that's the exact same thing that's going to be with Tottenham, where because of our attackers aren't good enough, we're going to have to play transitional football. Because if we try and play against low blocks, like we saw on that Ange, Brennan Johnson can play one-on-one. And he said it. He came out in an interview I saw today. He struggles with one-on-one defending, one-on-one dribbling, sorry, not defending, one-on-one dribbling. And that's going to be a huge problem, because like teams started doing with the likes of Saka, like teams started doing with Mbappe at PSG, like teams started doing with the likes of Cole Palmer. They will find ways to mark you out of the game. And if you mark out Kudus, then we're going to have a real problem. And that's why I'm genuinely worried. I am genuinely worried. Now, about the players that we are going to sign. About the players we're going to sign. I have done my research, and I have not been able to find anyone, and which is quite sad. But if you guys have any players in mind, let me know. But there's only one player that I saw that I thought this is something. So there's this guy at Inter Milan. His name is Aslani, and his passing stats are quite good, to be fair. Um, let me show you. Okay, so yeah, here is passing stats. Here's passing stats, and what I was trying to do was to find a player that is a good passer. Because, like I said, we're going to be playing direct football. From what I'm seeing from under Thomas Frank is that we're going to play direct football. It is play the ball long at um any opportunity you find. Like even in the speech that he gave that Tottenham shared, it was all play the ball long, be direct, play the ball long, play the ball long. Like be direct, be direct. Any opportunity you see to pass the ball. Don't be scared to play that ball and take risk. And that's what we've seen. And I'm genuinely worried about attackers. Genuinely. But anyways, these are his passing stats. And like, okay, so what I do, because I'm not the best at interpreting the stats. So what I do to interpret stats is this, and we're going to do that together. So this is what we're going to do. This is how I interpret stats, and you guys could learn from it, because not everybody can really read these things and understand them. So this is what I do. So I copy this. This is Aslani. Summarize these stats for me. Okay, so this is what I do. I put it into ChatGPT and I have, oh, I'm not even sharing the screen. Okay, I was sharing a specific screen instead of my entire screen. So I didn't even know you guys weren't even seeing it. Okay. Okay, now you can see it. Okay, so yeah, this is what I do. Use stars to summarize. So now, okay, so now these are his stats. So his passing and distribution, 5 star. His ball retention and possession control, 5 star. Set piece delivery, 4 star. As a goal threat, 1 star. Progressive carrying and dribbling, 1 star. Defensive rate, 1 star. Tactical discipline and positioning, fouls run and game management. Overall, he's a deep line distributor, elite passer, weak defender, normal dribbling or goal threat. Now, the reason why I brought this up is because the reason why I think that a player like this is going to work now is because we have Paulinho. And we also have to factor in that is also the way it could be the way Inter use him, because I don't watch Inter Milan regularly. I'm not going to come here and pretend as if I watch Inter regularly, but it could also be the way Inter use him. And Inter play transitional football, and majority the way Inter plays is very tricky. Like I don't even think I understand it myself, and I don't know how they play under this new manager. But he's an elite passer, and he could be beside Paulinho and be spraying the ball from deep, which is exactly what we wanted um Gibbs White for. But then the problem is his defensive ability. So I think that we would need to find a different player that can also spray the ball and also work defensively, because that's one thing that Gibbs White offered us. I think Poro and Kudus could fill the void of direct passing and getting the balls to the other side, but we need Madison or Son at least to score and win games. Honestly, I think that yeah, that's the thing there. I think that it could work. And like there's so many like ways that we could play. I think the way he wants to play, we wouldn't be able to play that way if we don't have the profile of players. But I think, yeah, with the passing, we have Poro, we have Romero, we have Poro and Romero from deep that could spray the balls from deep. But the problem is, if Poro and Romero, like you said, if Poro and Romero are spraying the balls from deep, our attacker is good enough to finish them. And which means for the kind of attackers we have, like likes of Richarlison, they are the type of attackers that you have to give them 3, 4 chances to score one. Like those are the type of attackers we have. And will Poro and Romero alone be enough? And but then, oh my god, this is very interesting. Now thinking about it, if due to the attackers we have, we know they are not good enough. If you guys look back or think back to when Brennan Johnson, oh my god, I love when my mind is going like this. But anyways, if you guys think back to when Brennan played his best football, to be fair, was at Forest, and his best football was in a transitional side. Now, if we're going to be a transitional side, if we're going to be, he joined us in, I think this was his last season at um this thing. Yeah, I think this was his last season, right? I believe so. Jesus Christ. All these are bad because he played in a transitional side. Yeah. They were pack the bus for 90 and then like spring on the counter attack. Let me see. Trying to find. Okay. Where was he? Here. I don't even know where it was. I think this was his first season at Tottenham. He had 2 seasons at Spurs. So this was it. So this is okay. Let me check the goals and assists because this is looking quite horrible. Okay, you know what? Let me just do what I normally do. Interpret the stats for me. Because I don't even understand what I'm looking at here. But thank God for AI. Interpret these Brennan Johnson stats for me. Okay. Use stars to summarize so that I can have a visual representation of what I'm looking at. So his finishing is very good. 4-star. Pace and direct running. Exactly. His pace and direct running because he plays in a transitional side. Off the ball movement. Exactly. Very good. Dribbling and carrying is horrible. Build up play is horrible. We know that. Chance creation for what others. Hey, you're a boy. H factor. Defensive work rate is poor. We know all this. Involvement in possession is poor. Exactly. Now, this is exactly what I'm saying. So now, if we're going to be playing in a side where, let me remove that so it doesn't confuse you guys. But if we're going to be playing in a side where we know our attackers aren't good, doesn't that mean that we should play in a transitional way? And I say this because it means that players like Brennan are going to play on the break. And as much as we might not like Brennan, Brennan is our best attacker right now. Like, transitionally. Brennan is our best attacker right now, transitionally. And he might be the best bet we have. So we have to play him to his strength. Him and Kudus. We have to play them to their strength. And I think that might be the best thing, to play transitional football. Brennan reminds me of Havertz, except he's more shit. I don't think we need tabbing masters. We should offer. Honestly, see, I agree with you. I agree with you. But right now, Brennan is hot cake. Like, I'm not even joking. Brennan is hot cake at Tottenham Hotspur because if we don't have Brennan, we have this. Let me show you what we have. This guy. This is who we have, guys. This is who we have if we don't have Brennan. And if we don't have this, this is who we have. Look here. Can you see this? 5 matches, 0 goals, 0 assists. That's what we have. Oh, you guys can't see it. Oh, sorry. I wasn't even sharing my screen. This is what we have. Yeah, you can see it now. This is what we have. This right here is what we have. Or this. This is what we have. It doesn't even look bad. But anyways, that's what we have if we don't have Brennan. So Brennan is hot cake right now at Tottenham Hotspur. Brennan is our second best attacker. That is where we are. But anyways, yes. So yes, if you guys know any other players, let me know. But I tried checking players similar to Gibbs White, and I didn't like what I saw. I saw this guy. Never. I would never touch that. We have these other guys, and they don't also fit the age profile. And I've been thinking to myself, which other players are there? The only person that I can think of is Aslani or Locatelli. That's the only thing. He brings dribbling person as well. You know the problem? Shanta, I have a problem. I have a problem with what you just said now. And let me tell you, let me tell you my problem. So, firstly, Odebe impressed you. I agree. Odebe impressed me. But the problem with Odebe is that Odebe loses the ball too much, like I said earlier. And aside from that, see that second name you just mentioned? That name, I have a problem with that guy. Because it seems to me like everybody under the sun thinks this guy is good except for me. And he's one of those players that I have an agenda. It seems like I have an agenda against him. Kolomwani cannot finish. And I'm not even joking. This brother cannot finish. And that is my problem with him. He can do everything right. Oh, pace, whatever. I watched him, and to confirm my bias, I knew it wasn't just a team. I watched him in the Club World Cup. I think it was Juve versus Real Madrid. My dream signing for left wing is this guy. I don't know if you guys know him. This is my dream signing. Udis. This guy is a baller and a half, but he will never come to Spurs. Never. 2005. I was born in 2004. I'm 21, which means Udis is 20. He's 20. Yeah. Udis is 20. This guy is genuinely one of the best players I've ever seen. Like, in a while. Genuinely. And the reason why he doesn't get the hype is because he's not playing in the Premier League. Udis is basically like, oh, I forgot to add my kidney to the screen. Again. Anyways, is this guy, Udis. He's basically like, you know how last year it was Kylian and everyone else. Udis is Udis and everyone else. at Juventus. And let me show you. Use stats to summarize. Let me interpret the stats for you guys so you understand what you're looking at. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Dribbling and 1v1 ability, Foster. He's 20 years old, by the way. Progressive carrying, Foster. Ball passing and progression, ball progression. He's like, he can play in 10, he can play as a left winger, he can play as a 9. He's strong, like he's so strong. And like, how I found this guy was on Football Manager. I found him on Football Manager when I was playing the game. And after finding him on Football Manager, I like started I started like buying him in all my careers, and he always plays well. But then I said, okay, let me finally watch you this in real life. And which game? None other than Real Madrid. It's Real Madrid. There are not much tests bigger than that in the Club World Cup. And my God, this guy single-handedly destroyed Madrid. They lost. Let me check for the scoreline. They lost to Madrid versus Juventus. They lost Madrid versus Juventus. Yeah, Club World Cup. Yeah, this is it. No, where is it? It was recent. I think this was it. Yeah, Club World Cup. Yeah, this was the game. He single-handedly destroyed Madrid. But the problem was, Udis had likes of Colomwani playing with him. That was the problem. So he's creating chances, and these guys are not taking it. And then what happens? I think it was that number 9. I remember. It was that number 9 that scored. That Madrid number 9. And that's how they lost. That's my dream signing for left wing. If I can't get Rodrygo, I would have Udis. For Udis to Spurs, not in this lifetime. Honestly, I don't think he will come to us. I don't think so. And it's very sad. So, honestly, I don't even know where we go. But that's the only guy that I can think of that. This guy, I made a video about him. What a baller. What a baller, Matthias Sule. And a lot of people don't know about this guy. This is what I wanted as our right winger. And honestly, Sule is on a whole new level. Like, his potential is crazy. And he's one of those players that a lot of people don't know about. But I give him a few years, everybody's going to be talking about this guy. I think Roma just signed him from Juve. And if I Sule stats, let me show you. He had 5 goals, 5 assists. But this is because at what they call them? At Roma, they were using him as a touchline winger because of how good his dribbling is. His dribbling is incredible. Like, let me check for it. Passing, no. Goal creating action. Yeah, shot creating action. Look at all this stuff. All this ball carrying and all this type of stuff. He's very good at it. Like, yeah, this is it here. Okay. Successful take-ons. Take-ons attempted, 93rd percentile, and things like that. Like 6 take-ons per game. Like, he's very good at stuff like that. And this is one of those players. So because of how good he is at things like that, they use him at the touchline to stretch play. Like, they use him to stretch play to spread the pitch, basically. And when Dybala got injured, then they now started using him as the main man. And if you check like his last few games for what they call them for Juve, no, not for Juve, for Roma, that's when he scored I think he had I don't know how I can check this. Is it possible for me to check SofaScore online? Yeah, okay. Let me try and check here. But his last few games for them, that's when when he was the main man and Dybala got injured, that's when they started using Sule as the main man. And if you check his stats in the last few games, he went to a whole new level. Yeah, this is it here. This is it. Yeah. Okay. How do I check his goals and assists? I want to be able to show you people this thing, like his goals and assists in the games. How do I check it? I don't know. This is my first time using SofaScore on what do they call it? Yeah, okay, this is it here. All right. So these are the last few games when this guy, yeah, you guys can see it, right? Okay, it's right here. So the last few games when Dybala got injured and he was the main man and the play was revolving around him. And this is a young guy, by the way. He's like, what, 23, 24, 22? Yeah, 22. They signed him for Juve. And, bro, there's so many players at Juve that Juve have had to let go of because of financial fair play. And we all know what happened with Juve and everything. But they've had to let go of because of FFP. But yeah, so in last few games, he had an assist here, 7.6. You can see all greens. Like, he's so good. Even in games when he's not scoring and assisting, he's such a baller. Like, he's such a baller, huge potential. But anyways, so he had a goal, he had a goal, he had an assist, he had a goal. Okay, he went here, no goal contribution. Yeah, he had an assist, an assist, an assist. Like, such a baller. That's what I wanted for our right wing before we got Kudus. But now the problem is he's left-footed, so he can't play on the right side because our manager likes to go with. Sorry, I missed your comment. But our manager likes to go with inverted, so he wants a right footer on the left and a left footer on the right. I said Kolomani because I know my manager denial leave me. I know my manager denial leave me is not spending 90 million. Okay. I'm guessing you mean the manager is not spending 90 million for Sheshko. Granted, I just meant I'll be fine with a decent finisher with Odebe, Kudus, and a decent number 10 to hold possession. Honestly, that's the thing. Everything looks so bleak right now, if I'm being honest. It looks so bleak because they're not even players on the market. Like, it's not even about this thing. The only players for that left wing position, we're so finished. Like, we're so finished because the only reasonable options are Yildiz and Rodrygo. Aside from Yildiz and Rodrygo, I genuinely don't know where we go. And that's the funny thing because, except if, let me even check. Let me check the Prem table. Let's see if there's something there for us. Let's check the Prem table. Let's check the Premier League table. Let's see if there's a mid-table side that we can raid. Because honestly, I see nobody on the market. Semenyo is gone. There's nobody we can get from us now. Aston Villa, who are the players at Villa? Who are the players? Let's check. Who are the players at Villa? How do we check their team? Yeah, okay. Who are the players at Villa? The attackers at Villa. You guys can see my screen, right? Okay. Yeah, you can see my screen. Okay. Who are the attackers at Villa? They have Ealing Jr. Nope. Jacob Ramsey. Nope. And I think he's right-footed. Ramsey. Let me check. Ramsey is right-footed, right? Let me check. Jacob Ramsey won't be bad though. But we'll check his stats. Dominance. Foot. Right-footed. Ooh. That's not a bad option, actually. Okay, let's check his stats. Let's check his stats. Let's see. How old is he first? How old is he? He's 24. Okay, that's a good age. He's homegrown. Okay. Let's interpret the stats. And let's see stats. Okay. Let's see stats. And let's see what we're working with. Jesus Christ, this doesn't look good at all. Oh my God. His defensive stats is good. That's one thing. Okay. Use stats to summarize. So let's know what we're looking at. This is a good hack, by the way. His passing is really good. Progressive passing and carrying is mid. Chance creation is horrible. Finishing is horrible. Forget it. If his finishing is bad, there's nothing else I want to see there. We need players that can put the ball inside the net. There's nothing else I want to see there. So he's off. He's off for me, in my opinion. So which other attacker is there for us to raid Villa for? There's nobody else because Villa have FFP issues. Morgan Rogers. Wait, though. That's not a bad option, actually. Let's check. Because I've been hearing reports about him being linked with an exit. He's right-footed. Let's check his stats. Okay, you guys can see my screen. That won't be bad, actually. I'll take that. How old is he? 23. Good age. Very good age. And I've been hearing a lot about this brother. Morgan Rogers to Spurs won't be bad. How do I close this? Why can't I close this? Anyways, let's see. Let's see. Okay. Let's interpret the stats. I need someone that can put the ball in the back of the net. Because Sholanke isn't the best finisher. And that's our 9. Let me see. So I said Kolo as my man Daniel, leave me, would never go for a baller like Sesco. The issue with Spurs has been spending money on Kid Zene and mid players. I agree. I agree honestly. And as much as everybody wants to say, oh, we spend money on players, we spend money on players. Yeah, but who do we buy? Like, who do we buy? In my opinion, Spurs are going to finish at, oh my God, 11th or 14th with the current signings. Actually, to rumors, even if we sign Grealish, she's not good enough anymore. You know what's funny? I thank God that you said this because this is a player that I don't want in my club. And whenever I see people say, oh, they don't want Grealish, a lot of people are like, oh, are you crazy? How would you want Grealish and this and that? I don't want him. Because the thing about clubs like City, the thing about clubs like City is that City is like Barcelona. I'm Real Madrid. They don't usually let go of players until they are done. Like they've taken the life out of these players. They take the life out of players. Like they drain them and then they let go of them. And that's the thing. And that's why, like, I don't want a player from City. If you look at majority of the players that have left City, Cole Palmer wanted to leave. That's different. But majority of the players, Sterling, who else again? Zinchenko, all these players, Jesus, they never do well. Never. Levy would never pay the kind of money that Villa might ask for Rodgers. You know what's funny? What's he worth? Morgan Rodgers transfer market. What's value? What's market value? 55 million euros is market value. It's homegrown. I genuinely think that we should be able to get Rodgers for 60, 65, max 70. I think that's realistic. And I don't think that would be bad. But let's check his stats. Goal output, mid. Creative passing and assist, 4-star. Progressive passing and carrying, 1v1. That's very good. Passing security, defensive work. Oh my God. How is this guy going to play under Thomas Frank like this? Oh, I forgot to share my screen again. God, I really need to get used to this YouTube team. But anyways, so let me show you again. Goal output, 3 stars. Creative passing and assist, 4 stars. Progressive passing and carrying, 3 stars. Dribbling, 1v1, 4 stars. Passing security, defensive work rate, horrible. Aerial ability, horrible. Possession retention, horrible. So he's a direct take-on winger. There's one guy that I had in mind. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys know him. But this guy, the problem with him is that he's very lightweight. Let me show you. And this guy used to be one of those players that back then a lot of people used to talk about him and whatever, but like they never really turned into what you expected. And his defensive stats are really good. Let me show you. And this is one player that I've had him. Let me first check his dominant foot. I've had him, right foot. Okay, so it will be a good option for the left wing. He's a player that I've had, like, I've known for a while, but then the problem is a lot of these La Liga players are very lightweight. This is him. So goal output, 4-star, creative passing and assist, progressive carrying and runs into the box. Like, he's so good, but the problem is he's so small. And I don't want a situation where we have another Brian Hill. Let me see what you said. You said, does this solve the goal scoring issue? Anyways, he will be much better than the options we have right now. So I'll take him in. We will still need a 9. Would you take Pino? Let me know if you take Pino. Look at his stats. His stats are really good. Look, let's check his stats. Let's check his stats. Jeremy Pino. This is one of those players that like I've known for years, but they've never really gotten the move. And he's still so young. He's still so young. But then he's one of those players that sometimes you wonder, like, why hasn't anybody taken a punt on him? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so his assists last season were he had 13 goal contributions. No, this is in La Liga. Or is this the whole season? This is the whole season. Yeah, 13 goal contributions, 9 assists and 4 goals at Villarreal. Like, he's so good at take on. He will put in the hard yards defensively. He will put in the hard yards defensively. Let me show you guys. Yeah, okay. So his goal output, he says is not bad. But the problem is he's also one of those players that they also use as a touchline winger because of how good he is dribbling. So they just tell him to go to the byline and then you cross in the ball. So he's one of those. So I feel like his output could really go to a whole new level at Tottenham in a more possession side. And his dribbling is insane. Like, I can't even put it into words. He's so good 1v1. He's so good. My God, he's so good. Like, he's so good. And now he says he also has creative passing and assists, which means that it's not even just like 1v1. He could also like spray balls to create chances. And because of how tricky he is, he also gets a lot of fouls. Like, players like Kudus usually get fouled. Like, if you check Matthias Sule now, Matthias Sule gets a lot of fouls because of how tricky he is and how he plays. But Kudus, because of how strong he is, he doesn't necessarily get fouls because he's so strong and it's hard to like foul him and get him off the ball in general. But that's my problem. Like, Pino would be ideal. Let's even check his weight. 65 kg. Can you imagine? This is my problem. Let's check his height. 1.72 meters to feet is what? 5'6". Can you see what I'm saying? He's so lightweight. And that's the problem. That's the problem with Pino. While he's ideal, like, he's what we need. And he's similar to Kulusevski. If you see this, let me show you. Based on similar players, you see here, similar to Kulusevski. This is another player, Kubo. But Kubo is left with that. Kubo would have been ideal for right wing. It was one of the players that I shortlisted for a right wing position. But yeah, that's another player. And this is the problem I'm having. For left back, let me show you the player that I found. There's this player at Girona. Something like Gutierrez or something like that. Yeah, let me show you this guy. But he's also lightweight. He's also lightweight. That's the problem with a lot of these players in the Spanish league. They are all very lightweight and so small. 71 kg. 71. Can you imagine? But let me show you stats. His stats are insane. Like, as an attacking fullback. And if we're going to be doing what we've seen, where like one of the fullbacks is going to bump forward, we can do Udogi and Pedro Porro. Like, Udogi stay back, or Udogi go forward and Pedro Porro stay back. Or we can do Miguel and Spence stay back. Like, Miguel go forward and Spence stay back. Let me show you stats. His stats don't make sense. His stats don't make sense. But the problem is he's so small and defensively, it's not going to be good enough. Chance creation and crossing, 4-star. Attacking output and goals and assists, 3-star. For a fullback, that's very good. Progressive pass and link-up play, 3-star. Dribbling and carrying, ball carrying, 4-star. Defensive doing, this is the problem. Alien ability, this is the problem. Attacking third, all the attacking stats, very good. Like, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, he has 4 that are 4-stars and 2 3-stars. Very good stats. But that's the problem. These guys are very lightweight. And that's my problem with some of these Spanish players. With Champions League at stake, we need more experienced players. I think having Pino as an option at 60 minutes would be great. But we need Leao or Lukman. I thank God you brought up Leao. You see why I thank God you brought up Leao? Leao. Now, this is my take on Leao. As good as he is, I don't think I want him in this system because he's another Brendan Johnson. And I don't mean another Brennan Johnson in the sense that I understand that Brennan Johnson doesn't have this ability, but Leao doesn't work defensively. Leao is one of those players that everywhere they've been the best player at the club, so they don't work defensively. And that's my problem with Leao. Wait, Elliot, what's his dominant foot? What's his dominant foot? Left. Oh, that would have been right wing. So we can't even sign Elliot. His dominant foot is right wing. Abi Elliot. So we can't sign him. Sit here. Abi left wing, sorry. Left foot. He's left footed, so he's only for the right wing. So we can't sign him. But that's the thing about Pino. Like, Pino really excites me, but then he's not physical enough. And a lot of these players in the Spanish league, let's even check Juve. Because Juve have a lot of players. There's another player that a lot of people have been talking about. Rovella. But the problem is Rovella is very small. There's even another one, Fagioli. Okay, a lot of this. Syria. A lot of players. A lot. Let's see. I want to cancel this. Look at Rovella's passing stats. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see my screen. Okay, let me do it in a way that's bigger. Look at his passing stats. Look at this. Look at his defensive stats. This is another player that, but the problem again, 68 kg. Can you see what I'm saying? They're all so small. They're all so small. And we already have so many small players in our team. Like for that number 8 position, that gives white position is what I'm talking about. Like these are players that, like, I've seen a lot of players, but none of them really, like, none of them really perfectly fit. You get what I'm saying? That's the, there are players out there, but do they fit like perfectly? That's the question. And that's the problem. I don't think we need defensive attackers. After preseason, we're pretty tight defenders, and now rather than last season, Leo will just accolades in the final. So I guess so. Like, considering what he would add, attacking. Let's even check his stats. Let's check his stats because everybody used to say Leo. Let's check his stats. Super score. Let's check. Leo. That output that you're giving me in front must be really good because I'm not going to spend the money I'm going to spend on you. Not bad. In a horrible season for can you see my screen? Okay, you can't. Let me share it. In a horrible season. Wow. Oh my god. Wow. Okay, this is looking very good. So 20, okay, let's start from here. 2021, 21, 22, 24 goal contributions here. Wow, this is really good. 23, 22, 27 goal contributions. Wow. The following season, 27. The following season, 23. Wow, that's very good. And these guys didn't do well in Syria. I know they didn't do well. They finished out of Europe. I believe so. Yeah, they were 8th. And he had 12 goals, 11 assists. That's fair. That's very fair. I think, considering that, I'll take Leao. I will take Leao if his stats are that good. And how old is he? I think he's at a good age as well. I think he's like 26, 27. I think he's like 26, 27. Yeah, 26. Yeah. Wow. And that would be like our marquee signing for left wing. It makes sense. I have to concede on that one. Shanta. I concede. I will take Leao. I will. He's 26. He's 26. And with these stats I'm seeing here, I will take Leao. I will take Leao. I will take Leao. But yeah, let's see. Let's check for players similar to Leao. Should we even check Leao's stats? Because that goal output is really good, but he doesn't work defensively. But fair enough. Considering what he's going to be giving us, like he could be our Salah. And he'll be our marquee signing. We need a marquee signing. Because none of those players are. Look at his defensive stats. He doesn't do anything. And that's the thing. Like a lot of people that say Leao, they don't know this. They just say, oh, Leao. But they don't know he doesn't do anything defensively. Leao is a luxury player. He's like Mbappe and Vini. But it does make sense. Let's see. Am I sharing my screen? Yeah, I am. Okay. So his goal scoring. Let's see. Okay, goal scoring and shooting, 4-star. Very good. Playmaking and assisting, 4-star. Dribbling and ball carrying, 5-star. Passing and distribution, 3, because he is more of a ball carrier. Defensive contribution, nothing. Possession and influence, 3. So he's not really involved in the game. He's just giving the ball to do, and he's very good aerially. What's his height? I think his tall is like 188 centimeters. I know this. Yeah, I know this because of Dream League. That's so God. I'm such a football freak. Jesus Christ. 6'1". That's very good. I concede. I concede, Chantal. I concede. I will take him. If you'll be down for a live this week. No problem. Do you mean on your channel? On your channel? Do you have a channel? Do you have a channel, Chantal? But yeah, this is really good. I will take Leao. So we have Leao for left wing. That's solved. No problem. No problem. No problem. I'm doing one tomorrow as well. I want to be more active now and try to grow my channel. I had 300 plus subscribers, but then I deleted it and I regret it. I had over 300 subs. I had some videos on 3,000 views and 2,000 views. I had one on Newcastle, close to 4K views. But then, and now, since I deleted it, the motivation hasn't really been there. But now I want to try to be more active. I will try to be. I will try to be. So Leao, left wing. Thank you, Shanta. We found a left winger. That's one. That's one left winger. We still need a number 10. A lot of people have been talking about El Kanous, Bilal El Kanous. But the problem with El Kanous, let's see, because I checked his stats and I didn't really like what I saw. Can you see? Can you see? But he played at Leicester, to be fair to him. But look at his passing, it's really good. And his defensive contribution is really good. So let's see. Let's ask ChatGPT if, based on the stats, he can play the deep line 8, but also play in a double pivot. Okay. So based, am I sharing my screen? Let me share my screen. Let's see. Is it a wait, Shanta? Do you mean like you would like to come on? If you want to come on, I'll send you a link. I'll send you a link right now. So yeah, so based off these stats, can El Kanous, I don't know how to spell his name, play in a double pivot as the deep line playmaker? Let's see. Go straight to the point. Give me a summary. He can't play. So how much do you think he would fit on a scale of 1 to 10? 6/10. That's really bad. That's really bad. 6/10. I think the ideal 8 for us is Rovella. But Rovella is also very small. So we have Leao, a left wing. We have Leao, a left wing. Leao, a left wing. But we can't find an 8. If you guys, anybody who is here, if you can suggest a number 8 for us, that would be nice. But let me see. I don't know. I can't think of anyone. El Kanous. Let's check players similar to Rovella. There's one guy that everybody has been talking about, Jashari, who is an absolute pass master. But the problem with Jashari is that he's very small. He has gone to a new club. But let's check players similar to Jashari. Like, bro, it's so hard to find players. Okay, let's go back to Premier League teams and see who we can even take from anyone. Who are the players at Brighton? Like, who are the players? Who are the players at Brighton? There's one guy in Sherwood. Where is he? There's one guy. I know him through FM. In Sherwood. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? In Sherwood. In Sherwood. Where is he? Let me check FBref. Yeah. How old is he? 20. What are his stats? Let's look at them. They didn't necessarily play him as a six. They didn't play him as a six. But that's the problem. Like, honestly, the person that everybody has been talking about for um left back is Anthony Robinson. While I think he's a good player, what's his market value? I'll take him, honestly. What's his value? 35. 30 million, 35 million won't be bad. 35 million for Robinson. So we have Leao. Let me write that down. We have Leao and we have Leao and Robinson. So I don't forget. Leao for left wing and Robinson for left back. That's Leao and Robinson. And which other? The number 8 is where the problem is. But the thing is, I've been thinking that considering Bentancur's skill set, he might actually be able to play the 8. I genuinely think he might be. Because I feel like there's so much more to Bentancur that we've not been able to see. Let's see. So Bentancur joined us when I want to try and check for some of his UV stats to see if I can check the passing. Look, this is exactly what I wanted to see. In a more dominant side, Bentancur's passing stats, I'm not sharing my screen. His passing stats are really good. His passing stats are really good. Yeah. And he was also doing the defensive side too. Like, so it's something that we know he has in his locker. Do you get what I'm saying? It's something that we know he has in his locker. But not necessarily long passes. Not necessarily long passes. But I don't know. I think that of all the players we have, the best fit is honestly, in my opinion, is what's his name? Bergval. But I don't know if he's ready. That's the problem. I don't know if he's ready. So we're going to have to pay Bentancur there until we're able to get a number 8. But yeah, let me try and check for strikers. There's this guy, Wahi. Let me check his stats. He's one of those players that I know through FM. Goals per 90. Forget it. There's another guy that we've been linked to, Kalim Wendo. I knew him through FM too as well. Goals per 90. It's not very good. The dream signing for me, I don't even know. There's no dream signing. My dream signing went to Saudi League, and that was Ivan Toney. Since Ivan Toney, I don't think there's any striker that I've actually wanted anymore. His non-penalty goals is bad, but he barely plays. Leonardo, but I don't know if that one wants to come to Marcus Leonardo. I don't know if he wants to come to England because that Al Hilal. We don't have his stats. That's crazy. But yeah, that's it. That's basically everything I have to say on Tottenham. Because honestly, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm excited to see what Frank does, and I'm excited to see the players that are coming. But I genuinely think that we might have to go for Morgan Rogers because genuinely or Leao because the left wing options we have, like the left wingers on the market right now, are not good enough for what we're trying to do, and for the level that we're trying to go to, and the level of players or level of teams that we're trying to compete. Kudos stats last season weren't exactly the best, and I know some people say it's a one-off, but bro, we need players to raise the bar and take us to the next level. And I genuinely think that Leao, like Shanta has convinced me tonight, Leao, Leao might be the man for us at left wing, like genuinely speaking. And like I see no other option except for Rodrygo or Leao. Maybe worst case scenario, Rogers. And then for that eight, I think it's best we don't buy anybody. I think if we end the summer, if we end the summer with Leao, with Leao, with Robinson, and with Leao Robinson and Leao and Robinson, and Kudus can play in 10, maybe another 9, like Kalimwendo. And I don't even think, like, I think, see, do you guys know how I find players? So, FM is based on real live data. So, I use FM and then I play with them in FM. And then when I play with them in FM, I like this guy, Samuel Omorodion. That's another really good striker. Let's check his stats. And that's like a really viable option for us. Honestly, he's very good. And Chelsea were linked to him. Look at his stats. Look at those greens. But how much will it cost? How much will it cost? Like let's interpret the stats. Let's interpret the stats. Where is it? Use stats to summarize the stats. Let's interpret the stats. So he's shooting and scoring 8/10. His playmaking ability is 3/10. Dribbling in possession, so he's not really good on the ball. And he's purely a goal scorer, nothing else. Wow, that is very limited. But anyways, that's how I find players. Like I use FM, CU this very talented baller. Ali Cho, let's check his stats. This is another one that I've heard of, but it doesn't really like whenever I sign him in FM, it doesn't really do anything. Yeah, I was right. Doesn't really do anything. Let me check. Karim Konate, that's another one. This time, sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit. This one. Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit. I can't even find the stats. Let's see. Which other player do I know here? Which other player do I know? This Poku guy, I saw him play against us. Let's check his stats. Because he looked decent against us. I can't lie. How old is he? 21? Poku. Doku from Timo. Poku. Let's interpret the stats. Doesn't look special. There's another guy, and it's Nauma. What's dominant foot first? Before I even waste my time. Poku, dominant foot. Left. Waste of my time. There's no point. This is another guy. This Holzer guy, is a baller. But the problem is that I've not been able to find videos of him. Like, this is another guy. This is another guy. He's at Leverkusen. But the problem is I've not been able to see how good his stats are. Like, bro, his stats are really good. But I wasn't able to find videos like to match what my eyes were telling me. So I couldn't really make a verdict on him. And I think he's right-footed. Let me see. And I don't watch the Bundesliga exactly. I don't watch the Bundesliga, so I can't even make a judgment. But his stats are incredible, and he's one of those players that everybody has been talking about for years, bro, for years. So let's see. Let's do a compared to forwards compared to attacking midfielders slash wingers instead of forwards. So goal scoring 4-star, shooting 4-star, passing and creativity 3-star, dribbling and ball possession 4-star, defensive contribution 4-star, physical and aerial do 4-star, overall 4 stars. He's a very good baller, very good baller. But the problem is I haven't actually watched videos of him, so I can't make any conclusion. But this is a player that I've been hearing about for years. This whole, I don't want to spoil the name. Olzek, Adam Olzek, Zesha. I can't pronounce it. I can't. But yeah, that's another player that like I've known about, but like I couldn't make a verdict because like the players that I was able to speak on, like Sule now, I was able to see the stats and then go and watch him and then to make sense of the stats. But then I don't want the situation where you have stats and then stats say one thing and then you just go by the stats, Do you get what I'm saying? That's what I didn't want to do. And I didn't want to put myself in a situation where I'm telling everybody, oh, this guy's a baller. And then somebody that watches him is like, yeah, it's not that. Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't like want this situation like that. Let's see, FM Wonder Key wingers. I've checked. Honestly, no, we said we're looking for a midfielder. We found a winger. We said Leao. Let's check. I prefer Wonder Kids because I prefer developing a player in FM. So majority of the time, like the players I sign up, this guy, City just signed him. Very good. What a baller. There's another one. This one. This guy is so good. Oh my god. This guy is so good in FM. Let's even check his stats. But he's still so young. I think he's like 17. He's still like 17. Yeah, I know he's like 17. Let's check his age. He's like 17 or 18. Oh, 19. Wow. Wow. He's old though, and he's at Leipzig now. Let me see. This is my dream. This is my dream signing. This guy, let me show you his defensive stats. It makes no sense. But now we have Paulinia. We don't need him. But look at green. Just green. Honestly, if I'm being honest, it seems like if we're going to sign an 8, a deep line playmaker, our best option based on the stats I'm seeing here to play in a double pivot is Rovella. Because his passing is really good. Am I sharing my screen? I'm not sharing my screen. His passing is really good. And I have to get the hang of this YouTube thing. But anyways, I will get it with time. Let me just do it like this. Let me just do it like this. So yeah, Rovella's passing is really good. And his defensive stats are also good. So let's try it. Rovella. Let's try Rovella. So his strengths: excellent passing and accuracy and volume, strong defensively, good at progressing the ball through passes, high work rate and involvement in midfield phases, reliable and disciplined with very few cards. Weaknesses: is a limited goal threat, not very direct or creative in the final third, moderate successful dribbling. So he's the kind of player that uses the ball to create instead of like dribbling, and he creates from deep instead of like in the final third. So he's a DMO is 6. Can he play? Can he play in a double pivot as the deep line playmaker? Yes, he can. He can. What will you rate his ability as the DLP in a double pivot on a scale of 1 to 10 based on the stats? Let's see. 7.5. That's really good. I think that's it, guys. We found we found our we found our Rovella. We found our 3 signings: Leao, Robinson, and Rovella. That's it. That's it. What's his market value? Let's check. Rovella transfer market. 30 million. It's not expensive. And it's a good age. It's a very good age. Very, very good age. 9. 9 is the problem. 9 is the problem. Let's even check this minor guy. Because result. Hey, result. We've also been linked to mine. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, I'm still sharing my screen. Minor stats are bad though. I just feel like it's like the same problem with a lot of United players where they don't necessarily like, but it's not a passer. It's not a long passer. They don't necessarily like, a lot of these players are very raw, like these United players. And that's the problem with them. This guy too, a lot of people have been talking about him, Javi Guerra. Another one. The other one. Not the profile we're looking for. This is my dream. My best midfielder. This is my favorite midfielder. João Neves. That's my favorite midfielder. Like, João Neves. So good. Let's check Samazic. I know him through FM, but I've never actually checked his stats. If I have, it's been a while since I checked it. I think he's more of a 10. Wow. Look at his passing. Jesus Christ. He won't be bad though. As an 8. This is another one. This is another one, guys. But how big is he? 78 kg, 184 centimeters, 184 cm to feet. 6 feet. 6 feet tall. Let's check his stats. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Let's check. 5.5 to 6/10. Oh, that's really poor. Wow. That's really poor. So it doesn't work. I'm trying to find a this thing is very hard though. Trying to find players. It's very difficult. I don't even lie to you. Because there are lots of players that you think would do well, and then you check the stats, and then the stats don't make sense. Very interesting stuff. But anyways, this is primarily Moriba is primarily a DM from the stats. He does switches, but nothing special there. This is another one that I always see on FM. Let's even check his stats. Forget it. Those passing stats are rubbish. 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 But yeah, this is another player that I really like. He's very good. Let me show you. And he's young. He's very good and he's very young. Hugo Larsson. He's 21. Yeah, 21. Has so much potential. Like little greens here, little greens here. There's another one, Otto Vermaeren. I think that one is Leipzig. Yeah, yeah. That's another one. The two of them, I know the two of them. Um, his passing stats are decent. Defensive stats are decent. I think it's Vermaeren I was talking about, not Larson. Because I know I mixed them up. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's Vermaeren. But yeah, he still has a lot of room to grow. But this is it. Like finding that nine is the problem. This is another guy that always comes up on my FM. Let's even check his stats. My dream signing for left wing, and I'll still say it to you tomorrow. Like, and every time that I think about that signing, it breaks my heart. Like genuinely, it breaks my heart. Is the Svedberg. How is your defensive stats as an attacker so good? But he has huge potential. This guy. Is Nusa. Let's see how he's doing at Leipzig. Nusa really breaks my heart. Every time I think about this, it breaks my heart. Honestly, it does. It does. It does break my heart every time. Look at the way they used him. It's the way they used him at fullback. Oh, he must really be struggling there. His defensive stats are really good. Like he's a take on specialist. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. That's all I have. And so the conclusion was Leao, Robinson, and Ravella. Number nine, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know anyone. I can't think of any number nine. The number nine market is so tricky. Like it's so tricky. Let me check. Best number nines, best strikers in FM 24. Let's see if we can find anyone. Am I sharing my screen? No, I'm not. Okay. This is one player that everybody was so hyped about before, but then the hype just died. Let's check his stats. Goals per 90. Wow, that bad. I can't lie. Let's even check this guy's stats. Honestly, I don't know. I like Jackson. You see why stats don't tell you everything. Jackson, I like Jackson. Honestly, I do. How do I want to compare him to? How do I want to try and compare him to Shalanke? How do I do it? I don't even understand this thing. I don't understand it to that level. Let me see. Evan Nielsen is already in Kine, Bournemouth. Let's see. Pedro is already gone. Jonathan David is in Juventus. Tammy Abraham. Hi. This is bad. Are we down bad like that? But let's see. Strikers are very hard to find, honestly. Why is defensive stats so good? You know, in nine. Yeah. I might take him. Play well in frame, and he'll be very good in air for replacing Richarlison. Adeyemi is not the most clinical, so I'm not even going to look at him. Granted, he's my Nigerian brother, but one was best for my club. Moisekin, I know it's hot cake right now, but I'm not buying it. At least not yet. But yeah, that's that's all I could find. Players are very hard to find. Players are very hard to find. So yeah, thank you for everybody that was here. Chantal, thank you guys. I'm so grateful. I'm so exhausted. You can tell by my eyes. And good night, everybody, and take care. Bye bye.